Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. This quote from Genesis, coupled with my interest in religious studies and environmental studies, is what drew me to transfer to COA during my junior year at another liberal arts school, in order to blend the disciplines of religion and ecology. I wanted to understand the source of belief, what drives people to view the earth, humans, and their surroundings with love, morality, indifference, or disrespect. What does subdue mean? What does dominion mean? Dominion has often been misconstrued as the equivalent of domination. My own interpretation has evolved to viewing dominion as responsibility, taking the unique human capacity for morality and being God's stewards and representatives here on earth. These questions prompted me to study abroad in the Pacific island nation of Fiji this past fall and winter, for a total of 5 months, in order to understand how people living in remote villages conceptualize the land that they live on, and how they weave their view of the earth into their Christian spirituality. The word Vanua in Fijian is the closest term the Fijians have to the English word land. But Vanua is not just land, it is also the people that occupy the land. So Vanua also means family, village, and the ancestor spirits that protect the land and its people. Each Fijian has their own Vanua, which is the land and village of their father or their husband's lineage. During my first month in Fiji, I met a Fijian named Samuela, whom I later developed a relationship with. His family welcomed me into their home to live when I decided to extend my visit to Fiji by 2 months after my study abroad program ended. His mom, whom I call Na, which is short for Tinangu, meaning mother, considered me to be her daughter, and I became a part of their family. I have an excerpt from the memoir that I wrote for my senior project that I hope illuminates the spirit of Vanua. It was midnight in Naivikini village. Na had paid $2.25 to turn on the electricity so she could finish sewing my beehive dress for Sam's uncle's wedding. She was eating a mango and measuring the elastic for my sleeves as I modeled the dress for her. We were all packing and getting ready for our journey to Namalata village, Sam's father's village, and therefore the Ralulu family's Vanua. On my way through the living room to get a glass of water, Na looked at me and smiled a huge smile. She waved her arms and patted the bamboo mat next to her, motioning for me to join her. She held both of my hands and said to me with innocent, excited eyes, "We're going home." It was in that moment that I understood the meaning of Vanua. It was home, and home was not a house on a piece of land that they owned, where they woke up in the morning and went to sleep at night. Home, for Na, was not where she had spent every day of her life. Instead, home was a place where her husband was from when he was alive, and she was returning to her home after 30 years of absence from it. Sam's home was a place he had never been. Their Vanua was the connection to their ancestors and the land on which their spirits were brought to Christianity. Na was returning to her Vanua, the womb from which her family was born. Holding her hands on the floor of our house in Naivikini village and seeing the thrill and anticipation in her eyes for going home made me feel like I too was returning home. I was soon to step foot on my Vanua, the village from which my ancestors came too. I took a deep breath and I smiled as I held the fabric of my dress so Na could thread the elastic into my sleeves. Sam was watching us from the doorway to our room and told me I looked like a Fijian princess. Being in Fiji enriched my identity in many ways, from how I conceived of home and family to how I thought about God and my own spirituality. I not only understood Vanua, but I felt Vanua. And I felt Fiji evolve from a place I had come to study abroad to a place that would forever be my home. Experiencing Fiji with the background of a COA education enabled me to view my interactions through the lens of human ecology. I was able to see how Fijians viewed their soil, their ocean, and their mango trees as the protectors of their families and villages. And yet, I was also perplexed by the fact that littering was rampant in Fiji. I would sit on the local bus and watch Fijians throw styrofoam plates and soda bottles out the window. When I talked to Sam about Fijians littering and asked him what his view of Genesis was in relation to creation, he thought deeply about my question. He spoke with his mother, his sisters, and his brother, and we all read Genesis aloud together in both English and Fijian. He said that his minister had never talked about how their individual actions of throwing things on the ground was disrespecting God's creation or destroying their Vanua. After that family discussion, the entire Walulu family stopped littering, and Sam urged his friends in the village to pick up cans or bottles that they would throw on the ground. I myself was amazed at how it only took that one conversation for them to align their actions with their own framework of understanding their environment. It was as simple as realizing that when they threw a gum wrapper onto the soil, they were polluting not only the land, but also their families and villages. I feel that without understanding people's spiritual lives, we cannot begin to understand how each person experiences the land and people around them. I believe understanding religion is one of the most important ways for human ecology to move forward, as what may be understood in terms of ecosystems and invasive plant species to one person may be the will of God towards his creation to another. Next year, I will be going to Harvard Divinity School to pursue a master's in religion and ethics, and I hope to build upon my understanding and background in human ecology and my experience of Vanua and family in Fiji in order to further delve into concepts of religion, ecology, and culture. Thank you.